trying to win votes
Yeah.
away from National.
Well, and away from New Zealand First, because last election New Zealand First went up 2, Labour went down 2.
Oh, okay.
And this happens everywhere. In England, Labour are weak because UKIP, UK Independence Party, are becoming stronger,
Oh, okay.
and UKIP and New Zealand First are very similar.
Okay.
They both have a message that the country should be protected from foreigners.
Okay.
That's why New Zealand First and United Kingdom Independence Party
Mhm.
both have the name of the country
Oh, okay.
in their title.
Right.
And that is because they're nationalist parties. And in both countries, the Labour Party is losing votes to them. This is an attempt to get those votes back.
Okay. I think another interesting situation is Australia. Australia used to have a one nation party. Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, I think
usually-
she's long gone, isn't she?
Yeah, he's long gone. Yeah, I think maybe that's a reflection of the different attitude. I think Australia probably are more open to
Oh, I
foreigners.
don't think so
You
at
think so?
all. No. In Australia, most of the politics is focused on people coming by boat. That is their overwhelming
refugee?
issue.
Okay.
And it is an issue focused on domestic Australians versus foreigners and newcomers. Australia is far more aggressive politics than New Zealand. In Sydney, for example, foreign investors can only buy new homes, not existing homes.
Oh, okay.
So
so there's a talk about New Zealand following Australia example.
Yeah, and Australia has long been far more exclusionary than New Zealand.
Right. Okay, I'll go through with you the comments in our opinion piece.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think the one interesting comment here is saying there are 99 reasons for the rising house price, but Phil Twyford chose to use Chinese as play the racist card.
Of course. Well, in 2004, Labour was strong, National were weak, and National looked for an issue that would allow them to shift a lot of votes. And what they did was they gave a speech about Maoris and said that Maori were getting too much privilege, and the polls shifted, 20% shifted from Labour over to National. And I think Phil Twyford is looking for a similar shift, if you like.
Right.
They're looking for an issue that will divide people and get some people on their side.
But it's not the what you call creative. It's nothing like will make people fall for it. It's
I'm sure some people will. I
Some
think it
people
will.
will, okay.
It will help Labour in the polls, no doubt. But it's still the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is to make New Zealand's housing market function, so that when prices go up, more houses are built.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Respond
Yep.
to the
In the 1990s, there were 5,000 building consents every year. In the last 10 years, from 2005 to 2014, only 4,000 building consents per year. So we are building 1,000 fewer houses in Auckland than we did in the 1990s. Now, in spite of that, the population has gone up 50%, and houses cost 6 times more than they did in 1991. So you might ask yourself, if people are prepared to pay more, and there's 50% more people, why has the number of houses being built gone down instead of up? And the answer to that is that the council has become obsessed with forcing people to live close together in increasingly intensified dwellings, rather than allowing the city to expand.
Mm.
And so all around the fringe of Auckland, you have a rural-urban boundary, and the land inside the boundary costs 9 times more than the land outside. Why? Because you're not allowed to build on the land outside. So you've had an enormous cost imposed by the council's regulations. That's the real problem, and if we solve that problem, we would not have to argue about who exactly, we would not have to argue about who is buying the houses, because we'd actually have a market that would supply people.
Right. Plus there are other issues, not just the immigrants pick Auckland as the city to live. I think the other New Zealanders pick Auckland to live as well, from Christchurch, from other parts of New Zealand.
Yeah, that's true to an extent. There's also people who used to live in New Zealand returned.
Yes.
I'm an example of that. I grew up in Northland.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Palmerston North. I lived in Auckland. I went overseas, then I came back to Auckland. So I've moved to Auckland twice in my life. You know, and that's normal.
Right, and also company headquarters moving to Auckland.
Yeah.
So they will bring
I think that there is an issue that big cities are winning all over the world.
Yes.
And you know, the New Zealand regions actually have real problems. You go to places like Oamaru in the South Island. You know, there's actually a shortage of people. They're finding it difficult to fund the council and pay the rates. They're finding it difficult to get people to work. On the other hand, everybody is flocking to Auckland. So part of it is just that people want to be in a big city. Part of it is that there's a lot of immigration. Part of it is that it's very hard to build new homes. Part of it is that worldwide there's a lot of economic turmoil, and Auckland is seen as a safe place to put your money.
And I see Winston Peters is very quiet.
I think Winston's a bit smarter than Labour, and he knows that they've gone too far this time.
Maybe he doesn't want to endorse Phil Twyford, because if he come out,
I think Winston will wait, and then he'll do exactly the same things Twyford's done, but he will do it smarter. You know, he's a lot more experienced than Phil Twyford.
right?
So
different level.
Just wait. I bet you he'll come out. He's.
Right.
I mean, he's a.
I just want to share with you something else. I think this is about Chinese bashing. Pam Cockery did.
Oh, she's awful.
She did a documentary on TV3. I'm not sure whether you've seen this.
No, I wouldn't watch a documentary with
But
Pam Cockery in it.
not the documentary. This is the contents of our WeChat. So this is a documentary probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh yeah.
About Chinese crime.
Yeah.
TV3.
Yeah.
And he used a Lantern Festival as the background.
Oh, okay.
With Chinese crime on top.
Yeah.
And this is a CCTV.
So
very bad taste. Yeah.
I wouldn't watch a documentary with Pam Cockery in it.
Okay. So I think the Chinese, they are the minority.
Oh, well, there's a long tradition in New Zealand history going back to the poll tax of picking on Chinese people. Most New Zealanders actually are very fair-minded and welcome immigrants and welcome people from all cultures. But you know, occasionally you'll get politicians. You know, most New Zealanders are fair-minded, welcome immigrants and welcome people from all cultures. But occasionally you'll get politicians who think that they can easily win votes by attacking a minority group, and Phil Twyford has decided to go down that path.
I wonder what Raymond Ho will say.
Well, have you asked him?
No, I haven't.
I think you should.
Okay. There's actually a gathering organized by Labour Party President Andrew Little on Wednesday.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not far from my office.
Oh, really?
So I think it's not just to the Chinese community. I think probably a general so-called informal after work gathering.
Well, I think it would be worth asking.
Yes, I'm not sure if Raymond will be there.
It'd be very interesting. I'm surprised more media have not asked him. Well, what else can I do for you?
I think that's just basically what I have. Yeah.
I think the key point is that we've had a dysfunctional housing market for 20 years, and it's not fair to start blaming the Chinese as scapegoats just because Labour is losing votes to New Zealand First. We must deal with the shortage of land that you're allowed to build on. That means dealing with the Resource Management Acts and the Auckland Council. Only then will there be enough houses for all and end the speculation.
It's quite a tricky situation because there are so many factors involved. The market,
Oh, no question. If I knew what the property values were going to do, I'd be getting rich. I wouldn't be here. Anything else we should talk about, Christina?
Oh, just if you want to know our audience about this newspaper and a tracking group or sort of history about this your media, so you can talk about more regarding that. So
I think print media. I mentioned about displaying in the airport. Print media is quite hard to. I mean, we talk about innovation, and our latest innovation is to put the paper in the airport.
Yeah.
Both in the departure and arrival area.
Yeah.
So that's our new thing.
So that's so 12 pages.
This is a thinnest paper.
Yeah.
Monday is
So,
thinnest
yeah.
from
But 36 on Saturdays.
or more, or 40 or more.
Yeah.
We are still
That's
very
the
strong in classified. This one is
Pelican Club.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No picture, just contents. Just
Yeah.
we follow the New Zealand media regulations. Just as what New Zealand Herald do.
So
We use Xinhua News.
yeah.
Xinhua is a Reuters equivalent of China.
Yeah. Okay.
From China.
So and what about can you write things that you would not be allowed to write in mainland China?
Yes.
And do you?
Yes. Legal and so on. Yeah. We are allowed to. It's a freedom to
free
publish
speech here.
in a responsible manner. Yeah.
In a responsible manner.
Yeah, socially responsible manner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting.
We also have a presence in WeChat.
Yep.
For example, discussion of this is quite.
I have WeChat,
good.
but I can't find my password.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. One day I'll find it.
I want to share with you some interesting comments. Okay. This is the same article we published one day earlier, yesterday.
Yep.
And the comments. Okay.
That's all you.
This is a repeat echo because what the WeChat format is you got to be friends in order to see it. So what I do is echo what's written there so everyone can see.
Yep.
Okay, this is a very good comment. It's wrong to use race as a starting point because the country have to use legal means and system and regulations to manage this. The weak in the society, including the new immigrants and minority ethnicity, usually are used as target as so-called claim as a problem of the country.
Unfortunately, that's a long tradition.
Yeah, and that will mislead the majority, and that will further mislead, and can be exaggerated, and this one is criticized Phil Twyford as a politician. They have the basic social responsibility awareness not to do it. So that's a comment. This is like a Twitter, and this is my personal Twitter.
I've used WeChat before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In English.
Well, Christina to help me.
Yeah, you should ask Christina to set it up for you.
No, she has. I just need to find my password. It's proving quite difficult. Okay. Oh, well, that's very helpful, David. Well, congratulations for such a successful business. That's great.
What's the circulation about your
This is
10,000.
10,000? Yeah.
Oh, that's superb.
So, because normally it's the elderly people, they just pick up the newspaper from airport or supermarket. In order to expand this Chinese tracking more the young audience, so they just put in our WeChat and Weibo. As you know, this Chinese so can read it and put the comments on that, like Twitter. So everyone read it, share articles. So all the articles that's the way released on the newspaper, they put on the WeChat as well. So even we can't put any comments on the newspaper, but we can also receive message from WeChat.
Like Twitter.
It's very good, and David Su help us a lot. All the articles we're sending to them, and they post it in the
Thank you.
newspaper.
Well, we're always very grateful to be able to expose our message.
Yes. Yeah, and you are the lone fighter.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the only one in Parliament this week, it seems.
The only one in Parliament.
Well, the only one who is attacking Phil Twyford.
Oh, okay. All right.
All others, it seems, have left him alone.
Including Nick Smith.
I don't think he's responded.
Okay.
I may have missed him, but I haven't seen anything in the mainstream media today.
I think people are calculating. This is I think you mentioned about Winston Peters being a smart one, huh?
The National Party know that they're vulnerable on this. They know that there are working class New Zealanders who might be voting for them who will go back to Labour or New Zealand First if they're not careful.
Because I think this is no win situation. Either way that you don't gain votes.
Well, the opportunity for a party like ACT is that we don't have many votes to lose. And so we can say what we believe is correct and see if we get some votes.
Yes, I think that that's a right attitude. I mean, that you say what's right. I mean, it's what I hear, what we publish. Those are the.
Well, we do.
That's what it should be.
We don't expect everybody to agree with us, but we certainly say what we believe is true according to liberal values.
Very good. And David also quite interested in how does the Chinese media survive, because we're not mainstream media, so we're just a small ethnic group. How does the media survive?
David controls his cost very carefully.
Yeah, that's the one media lean and mean. Yeah. I think we keep learning. We keep innovating. I think nowadays being print media is not restricted to print media. We do this as well. So we'll get edit and put into Facebook, WeChat. So we have a bit of video as well. So that's what we are doing. To grow, to keep innovating. Yeah. And putting this in the airport. That's another new method, new innovation. Yeah.